Hey, what's going on, guys? I was blessed enough to be able to take a trip out to Zerchistan and train with the legendary Spencer Graziano. I'm sure a lot of you that watch my channel also watch his channel. If you don't, I suggest starting. We started our session with some explosive triple extension throws, so behind the head throws. This was unique in comparison to what I would usually do because I would usually just pick a weight that I felt was kind of easy and do it for a bunch of reps. We started with light, worked our way up to something that was actually heavy, then worked our way back down to the lighter implement, which then moved like an absolute missile. So that was awesome. That's definitely something I'll be taking away for my own training when I do throws on my own. When we were done with the throws, we moved on to some isometrics, hip flexor isometrics, and then bicep isometrics as well. Again, not something I usually do on my own, but definitely something I will start doing on my own. I'm the type of person that searches for dynamic correspondence and the reason behind exercises, and you'll see the reason behind this exercise here in a little bit when you see both Spencer and I hop on the pull-up bar and our bodies basically feel weightless directly after doing these isometrics. So check this out. I was actually really shocked by this. Spencer moves like an absolute missile as well. And a good takeaway for you guys watching this that are athletes is look at the coordination, okay? Look at the intent behind everything that is done. Maximum effort, maximum intermuscular coordination, and doing that over time is going to lead to really good outcomes for strength and power. Here you can see some wrist curls. I'm not very strong in these wrist curls, not nearly as strong as Spencer. So I did some reps here with a 50-pound dumbbell. He absolutely mogs me here and is over 100 pounds on these attempts for him. So definitely something I think I'm going to be throwing into my own training too is some forearm work. So we move on to some strict curls here. Again, not something that I train usually. Something I think I will start throwing in, if not strict curls, definitely bicep curls in general. Again, as you can see here, the takeaway is what? Intensity, effort, right? Even something like a curl that athletes might think is kind of menial, we can get value out of it by providing maximum effort and treating it like an explosive movement. This is my favorite part of our session. We did some accommodating resistance, chain suspended, safety squat bar squats. I know that's a real mouthful, but it was really, really cool to see the setup, learn about how we set it up, why we set it up. And again, I think this kind of goes without saying, but the value behind this is power, power, power. So power out of the glutes, power out of the quads, right? And then that accommodating resistance, if you think you're going to be able to relax at the top like you do in a barbell squat, you can't. And I found that out. Absolutely got humbled on some of these attempts. But as somebody who plays rugby, right, going into contact, scrummaging, rucks, mauls, all that kind of stuff, anybody that plays rugby knows, like, those are some violent situations. So being able to train and get that kind of, exposure to being able to brace like that is absolutely going to have a lot of value in contact sports. So you'll see Spencer here take his last set. We did 24 triples with this, and we ripped through it pretty fast. We ramped up, so we added weight every set, and both of us were providing max effort. Something I want to note is that Spencer is super posterior chain dominant versus me, who's somebody that I would consider in chronic extension. I'm very quad dominant, so we had slightly different movement strategies. for this same movement. Also, he's taller, so the range of motion was a little bit higher for him. Us being the athletes that we are, we had to go get some sprinting in. I got absolutely taken to school by Spencer, who definitely knows his stuff about sprint mechanics and stuff like that. You'll see a little race that we did here, and I'm not going to make it a mystery like Spencer did on his. He absolutely torches me, but super fun training session.
Basically, all the exercises that we did today, like what are some like takeaways or take homes, anything that you learned that you're going to utilize in your own training or with your clients?
Yeah, for sure. So the accommodating resistance is something that I don't really do anything with in my own training. And as an athlete myself that trains tons of athletes, I think it humbled me for sure, because I'm a pretty good back squatter, as you guys can see, you know, but getting underneath that much band and chain tension, you can't ever relax under that or it will humble you. So providing force in like contact sports, especially driving through contact, that kind of stuff, there's definitely something to the bands and chains. And then this idea of like max effort everything, there's something to that as well, for sure.
And I want to say, like, I was really like impressed. Like 24 sets that's a tough workout, and you were pushing me to my limits on there, and the speed on your squats was just as good as mine, especially for having never done it and being lighter than me. So I was really impressed by that. And then just the way that you picked up on the one-arm pulls, you hadn't done those before, the isometrics, strict curls, and then we even got some like technical work in that we could on the hill sprints, and those were super fun. So I appreciate you for coming out, man. Come back anytime, hopefully this summer or before that or something. So
for sure. Thanks for humbling me in the sprints too.
It was a time.